The theme of this discussion is why the right, in particular the Republican Party and their allies in the right wing hate media, Fox, Sinclair, Newsmax, uh, all the nutsos on social media, the various Facebook loons, have to turn to conspiracy theories and anti factual positions and made up controversies. Um, I remember when Obama was president and he was a centrist, he was very pragmatic, he was not an in your face woke person, he was not someone who tried to really rattle the establishment, the established order. He tried to fine tune things and build consensus. And the right wing treated him and used some of the most bizarre conspiracy theories. I mean, it bears to be listed back from the time of Clinton. I on the guy whose soul is burning in hell right now, Rush Limbaugh. I remember hearing that Bill Clinton was supposedly involved in cocaine and child trafficking on the radio because as a teenager, oddly, I was a Republican. And in my early 20s, before I went to college and read a book. Um, and I remember the scumbag saying that, Bill and Hillary had hit teams and they were cocaine traffickers and the Pablo Escobars of Arkansas. And then this whole Clinton cottage hate industry is what gave birth to Fox News and Rush Limbaugh. They were nobodies before these bizarre Clinton culture war conspiracies came up. Then with Obama, he was Kenyan. And that's how Donald Trump gained his notoriety, was by doubting Obama's Americanness and making up conspiracies about birth certificates in Hawaii that were forged or whatever. He made it up. And he rode that all the way to the presidency. If you look at almost all the conspiracy theories that exist in the dung heap that is the collective brain of the American public, all of them are basically blaming liberals, foreigners, and minorities for the problems of good white Christian Americans who just go around minding their own business, not ever doing anything wrong, and these evil elitist leftists, Hollywood, college professors, homosexuals, intellectuals, whoever they dislike, has these conspiracies against them. George Soros. I remember it being said that during the Obama administration that FEMA was going to have had death camps, and they were going to use FEMA as an excuse to round up Republicans and take away their guns. And I mean, it changes by the second. Poor Hillary Clinton was subjected to the most amazing witch hunt where they investigated everything she did for 25 years and couldn't charge her with a parking ticket. They accused her of selling child sex slaves, uranium to the Russians, everything and anything. And, there's this kind of gaslighting and creating of a closed information loop is the principal tool and principal signal of a fascist death cult. The first thing that the fascists do is brainwash their followers. The first thing, it's a cult. It's a form of a cult. And the reason that the Republicans turn to an alternative reality is because of the massive failure of everything that they have espoused in actual reality. They denied climate for 25 years, 30 years. It blew up in and with the prostitutes of the excavation industry, that blew up in everyone's face and is going to get worse and worse and worse. And then they're going to be like, oh, climate change, who knew? We didn't know. The science wasn't settled, even though 98% of the scientists in the field agree on the exact reasons for climate change and the disastrous consequences of man-made climate change. And it's all to cover up for the complete failure of the big lie, the original big lie of Ronald Reagan, that if you dismantle the social safety net, if you dismantle education and the government and you hand it back in big checks to rich people and corporations, that the wealth would trickle down. All of these lies and conspiracy theories and scapegoating of foreigners and liberals and Hillary and Obama and immigrants, all of these made up controversies and made up grievances, these are conspiracy theories that are being sold to the stupid to cover up for the complete and abject failure of Reaganomics. The total failure. There is no trickle in, trickle down. It only trickles up. And that's what we've seen. We've seen wealth and income disparity shoot up. We've seen the middle class get hollowed out. Education is more expensive than it's ever been historically. Healthcare is more expensive than it's ever been historically. Housing is up there. There used to be a time, this is what in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s with the New Deal and the Great Society programs, the average American worker with a high school diploma and a union job could put 2 kids through college, buy a house, buy a car, and retire with dignity and a pension and little to no debt. That has been completely taken away by the corporate donor class and the bond villains that support the Republican Party. You can look at the 12 most parasitic industries that are just decimating the planet in America. Credit cards, payday lenders, casinos, weapon makers, cigarette companies, defense contractors. Every single one of the private health insurance and drug companies, every one of them give 95% of their money to the Republican Party. That should tell you who's in it for them and their interests. You can draw a line on a graph to when Reaganomics became the default position of this country and shrinking government and the T-nutters who came up and after Ronald Reagan and established their sequestration and government shutdowns, trying to kill the economy under Obama so they could blame him. All of these things are to cover up for the fact that Republican feudalism is just a giveaway to the rich and the most parasitic industries on the planet and in the country, and has nothing, not one thing that it does to help 99% of their own voters. And so they blame that the destruction of the middle class that Ronald Reagan is and his followers, his acolytes, the hit on the New Deal and Great Society middle class, the greatest middle class of all time. That hit, they're covering up with these conspiracy theories saying, look, it's not us, it's not big business, it's not Ronald Reaganomics, it's not bogus, disgraced supply side, laughable feudalism economics. It's the liberals, it's the minorities, it's China, it's whoever the boogeyman is. Wake up. All the conspiracy theories are made up to cover up for the failure of Republican policies on everything. And that's the end of this one.